We got some major Borderlands 3 news regarding future things we can expect, the new event that will be live next week. That is way more exciting than the Iridium event we got right now, and just way more. So let's get into it. Would be awesome if you could leave a like on the video as it shows your support. And let's go. Let's start with some exciting news, namely that Gearbox is officially working on bank space upgrades. So last week during the co-op couch stream it was announced that they were looking into it, but now we know that this is indeed coming, we just don't know when, as they are still looking at the best way to do this. They namely want to make sure that it doesn't impact the stability of the game and that the bank continues to be a secure and safe place to put your gear in. And right now that is not really the case. I still don't think that they fixed this right, with people still reporting issues that their bank is empty all of a sudden. So yes, it will likely take some time before the bank will have more than 50 slots, but we at least know that it's coming, like it's confirmed, and that's great news. If you, by the way, in the meantime already want to carry more items, then totally check out my tips and tricks video for more bank slots across characters. I will leave a link to that video at the end of this one. Another great piece of news from the couch co-op stream is that Gearbox is working on dedicated loot drops. Right now, most of the legendary items are world drops, meaning that you get them from many of the bosses, from a chest or a loot tank, but that makes it really hard to farm for one specific item that you might need for a specific build. So then the fastest way is to farm the same boss that you can kill really fast over and over again. So what will happen in the future is that they will give specific bosses more unique items. So let's say Gigamind, for example, now has the Smart Gun XXL that only he can drop, but with this dedicated loot drop system this boss can also drop the Gutsman and the Flacker, for example. So yes, just an example, we don't know the specifics yet, but it basically means that you can more easily go to a boss to farm for a specific item because you know that that boss will drop it in the end. It sounds very great, making farming way more rewarding. And speaking of farming legendaries, I want to touch on the new event that kicks off in a second, but first let's take a look at some notes on the recent hotfix that was applied yesterday on October 17th. So I made a big video going over all the changes, but we now got some extra explanation and actually some info on the Flacker, for example. If you watched that previous video or are using the Flacker very often, then you noticed the new change, right? Where you can now only shoot once before you have to reload instead of 3 or maybe 4 times before this hotfix. Well, there is a bug in the game right now where the weapon still consumes 5 bullets, as noted in the stats as well. But this is actually not supposed to happen. They mentioned during the live stream that the Flacker should now only consume 1 bullet instead of 5. But that is not the case right now. You still consume 5 ammo while you only have a magazine size of 1. So this will likely be fixed with a new hotfix very soon. So yes, the weapon got a nerf, but will then actually have a slight buff too, where you can just shoot the gun way more often before running out of shotgun ammo. We also had a buff for the companions, like the Digiclone, the pets and the Iron Bear all got a health increase. And now they noted that this is actually a short fix with more changes coming later, but those will be included in a regular update that we have to download rather than a hotfix that will easily be applied. So maybe that day 30 update that they've been teasing for a while will include this. One last thing, by the way, on the Iron Bear, the combat designer Grant teased that he wants to be in the Iron Bear more often. So that is something that will likely change in the future too. Another interesting piece of info is regarding next week's anniversary event. So right now we have the increased Iridium drops from the standard enemies, and in the Mayhem modes the Iridium slot machine price per roll is decreased from 10 to 5, and the items from Crazy Earl have a 25% discount. So this event is still going on for the next few days, and then on October 22nd we got Mayhem on Twitch. So you would think that this has anything to do with the streaming platform, but the first details we heard are actually more about the Mayhem modes and how they want to make that more in fighting. So some of the modifiers that decrease your normal bullet damage and your gun damage will be not as significant as before. Like right now it can be a decrease by 50% on Mayhem 3, so then your loadout could suddenly be pretty bad. They note that the idea with the Mayhem mode is to entice you to change builds, but during this week they don't want the penalties to be that high. They're also reducing the enemies have a chance to reflect bullets modifier drastically, so it will be way less powerful than it was before. I think that after the event it will all change back to how it is right now, but at least we got 1 week to grind on this easier Mayhem mode. And to entice us even more, they will, and I quote, quite heavily increase the drop chance for anointed gear during the event. So we get more powerful drops next week. Sounds very awesome, and I'm sure we will get more info before the event goes live on October 22nd. I will of course bring you all the news here, and Dennis and I will be trying out the event live here on the channel, so you can watch us check the changes live on October 22nd. We also got a small hint regarding the final event of the anniversary celebration, the spooky surprise, and this actually seems to be a nice treat according to a new post on the Borderlands website, and during the co-op stream it was also briefly mentioned.
I will also say that it is October. It is the 10th anniversary of Borderlands as a franchise. Happy anniversary, y'all. If I hadn't said that already. And so we have a couple of more weeks worth of anniversary events, and then at the end of that, everybody's going to get a prize that will either be spooky or spoopy.
So it seems to be something else alongside the Bloody Harvest event, and that will happen at the end of all the events. Very interesting indeed. There is some more info from this stream that I will touch on in a second, but we should also keep an eye out for the Borderlands show with Kinda Funny Games and some Gearbox developers, where they will highlight some future DLC content. And the last time we got our first look at the Bloody Harvest event that will kick off later this month. And now they teased that we should look forward to some day 30 update info during the new Borderlands show too. So hopefully we learn the date and more features that are coming, apart from the photo mode and the Twitch EchoCast extension for the consoles. I, by the way, think we already know one new feature that will be coming with this update too. The Borderlands Twitter account namely shared that the Insta Mayhem mode for the True Vault Hunter mode will be coming to consoles as well. Right now we cannot select Mayhem mode when replaying the game in this New Game Plus sort of feature, but now we know that that should change in the future luckily, so that we can get more loot while replaying the game in the True Vault Hunter mode. We don't have to wait that long anymore for the Borderlands show, as they're already filming it. We got this shot from Greg Miller of his Psycho outfit for the Ask a Psycho bit, and the last time I think they filmed 4 days before the show went live. So totally somewhere next week is when we will see the Borderlands show. They first said October 22nd, but that wasn't confirmed back then. Let's go quickly back to that couch co-op stream, because Gearbox noted something very important. So again, the recent hotfix changed a ton, but Gearbox does not plan on doing any more significant nerfs in the future. So what we saw yesterday was really one of the final times we should expect something like this. They only said that unless there's like a big outlier, like one weapon or item that is suddenly super OP, then they will change it. What they did say is that we should expect more buffs for less popular weapons that we of course saw yesterday too. So I totally think that some weapons that weren't touched yesterday but are pretty low on power will see an increase in the future. And they, by the way, talked about why they are balancing things as well. And that is because they don't want you to chase the best weapons and build a playstyle around that, but that you actually make a playstyle yourself with all the different weapons that are available. So they basically want a reason to get every weapon instead of just a handful of items, and I can totally see where they are coming from. Nerfs totally suck, especially if you just got the item and then the day after that it got nerfed. But the game is way more interesting overall when there are way more viable weapons instead of just a few that everyone should use. Subscribe for everything Borderlands 3 if you haven't already. I will keep you up to date on all the news and got a ton of tips and tricks and more coming your way. Like the video to support the channel and totally check out that previous video where where I go over all the significant changes that were made with the recent hotfix. And what is interesting is that some changes were more or less substantial than they communicated. You can watch that video by clicking on the screen, or I will link to it at the end of our golden chest opening that Dennis and I always like to do at the end of a Borderlands 3 video. Yo, yo, yo. We cleaned up the mess from last time, or actually the game cleaned it up for us.
I think we broke the chest though, because look at what I got. I didn't notice it because there was too much stuff in the way, but I got this from the chest, which I didn't even know was possible.
It's just called shield.
Yeah.
The capacity is not that bad, though, but...
It's not terrible, but it's literally the most basic thing in the entire game, I think. So let's forget about that.
How can you
Don't
get
do it
that
again
from
to
a
me,
chest?
please. I don't know. Look at it. Look, it might happen again. No, it won't. It won't.
It is still bad, though. It's still bad, though. What happened to our legendaries in a row? Ever since we opened 2 chests as once, but let's see.
You get one from... Yeah, there you go. Hey, it's not all bad. What is it?
It's the white elephant again. But with the action skill cooldown rate, that is not that bad. Melee has a 30% chance to attach a sticky bomb. Daily... Oh, whoa. Dealing melee replenishes ammo.
That's pretty nice.
Ammo refill. Ammo returns to allies 8% per melee.
That's actually quite interesting.
That is very interesting.
So that means if I just punch everyone and use that thing, you all get ammo back.
Yeah. To allies. Yeah, and to yourself. Whoa.
That is cool. I never seen that one before on an artifact before.
It's actually pretty great in Circles of Slaughter too, where...
yeah, definitely.
Where, yeah. Okay, I will totally pick that up if I have enough space. I have to... sell something again. But yeah, that will be for another video. Subscribe for everything Borderlands 3, of course. Like the video to support the channel. And check out the previous Borderlands 3 video. You can see them here on the screen. For now, we will speak to you next time, and goodbye.